How to conduct virtual meetings. In the context of the current pandemic and the subsequent lockdowns in place across the world, most of the people have been ordered to work from home to curb the spread of COVID 19. With epidemiologists warning that the coronavirus is here to stay, it becomes inevitable for individuals, students, businesses, organizations to find alternative solutions to lead lives, to fix the new normal. In this situation, getting used to conducting virtual meetings is key to keep the performance and momentum of your organization going. Thankfully, due to the penetration of smart mobile phones and cheaper data, accessibility to the internet has increased considerably. A virtual meeting is a meeting conducted with the online or telephonic presence of participants through a phone, application, software, or website. This method of conducting meetings has been there for a while now in different countries. However, it has attracted the Indian companies and organizations in the COVID background. Currently, there are a plethora of options available based on your various needs. In this video presentation, we are going to explore your needs, options, some tips, at least as much as we ourselves have learned so far. Questions to ask oneself before conducting a virtual meeting. What sort of a meeting is it going to be? How many people are going to be invited? What type of accessibility and knowledge of internet does your audience have? What sort of tools do you need? What sort of a meeting is it going to be? Before we come to deciding where to conduct the meeting, you have to be clear on what sort of meeting do you intend it to be. There are many different types of meetings, such as a webinar, that is a web seminar given by a person or two on a particular topic, with the rest of the participants being just audience. Virtual group discussion, as the name suggests, an online group discussion on a topic with a moderator monitoring and helping every participant in sharing their views and helping in debating. E-class, where a teacher or mentor teaches something to the participants and interacts with them. A telephonic conference between clients and team members or among team members. A video or web conference, an online conference among teams or teams with clients. How many people are going to be invited? Once you have decided on what sort of meeting you want to organize, the next question is the number of participants. This is an important question as apps or websites tend to accept a certain quota of participants for free and might ask you to convert to paid membership to increase the quota of participants. For example, you have less than 10 participants, more than 10 participants but less than 50, 50, 100, below 300, more than 300. Based on the number, you can shortlist some places to have your meeting. What sort of accessibility and knowledge of internet does your audience have? When it comes to going virtual, you have to put in a bit of thought to participants' accessibility to the following factors before selecting a platform, such as signals, smartphones with data connectivity, quality of internet, level of internet literacy. For example, if the meeting is with a group with only mobile signals, let alone internet connectivity, a teleconference is the obvious choice. However, If there is internet connectivity but the participants are not tech savvy, a video conference or a telephonic conference through some simple app is preferable. Tools you need. Depending on the purpose of your meeting, you will need a variety of tools to make the meeting most effective. They are whiteboard. It allows participants to showcase their ideas, slides on a whiteboard and make changes and add points in real time. Screen sharing. It allows for a participant to do a presentation and showcase your screen to other participants. Live captions. It allows for people to get real-time captions for those unable to hear or have hearing problems. Meeting recordings. It allows for people to record and share the meetings or webinars to anyone who might have missed it. Polls. It lets you conduct polls and provides the results immediately for a more productive meeting. Various platforms and their pros and cons. Currently, there are hundreds of apps and websites for conducting virtual meetings, with each having its own pros and cons. Let us start with one of the most popular apps, Zoom. Let us see what its pros are. Ease in setting up and usability, great call quality, calls continue even with low internet speed, free group calls with 100 participants for 40 minutes, many features including screen sharing, recording, polls, cloud storage, hand raising, etc. Can divide big groups into smaller groups for discussions. Low to moderate internet savviness will suffice. Apart from these pros, you can join this app from website or through dial-in mode from telephones. On the negative side, if you don't have paid version, every 40 minutes into the meeting, you might have to invite participants again and again. Security issues have been flagged by many users. Sharing of personal data with other apps and Zoom bombings, wherein hackers come into private rooms, have been causing a lot of problems. Moreover, paid version has all the features, including group calls with up to 1000 participants for unlimited time. On the whole, it is a really good app. Google Meets. Google Meets was previously Google Hangouts. It is now another good app being used to conduct virtual meetings. Google has made some features free till September 30th, 2020 due to the pandemic. In this, the positives are that there is free 1 hour group meetings with 100 participants. Increased free meeting time to 24 hours till September 30th. Integration with Google Suite apps such as Google Calendar, Drive and Gmail. You can also have the option to join a meeting directly from Gmail, which is an added advantage. Free webinar with 1 lakh viewers free till September 30th. Can be joined through browser and app. Screen sharing, live captions for English, security and encryption is top class, can be used by medium tech savvy people. On the negative side, call quality is not great with large groups. Moreover, participants cannot exceed 250 even in premium version. And webinar option is available with only view only option. WebEx is a comprehensive video conferencing package by Cisco, a major hardware company. It has a lot of features, including multi-user whiteboarding, that will allow other participants to write on your whiteboard, recording, screen sharing, etc. Can be used through browser and app. Special customized options for education, offices, businesses, etc. HD audio and video is available. Unlimited participants. Integration with various other apps. It is on the whole a very good app for large organizations because it has a lot of complex features available. However, it is very confusing to set up for the unversed and medium tech savvy people. Only 30-day free trial is available. After trial period, you have to pay to use it. All features are in paid mode only, which is a big. Next, GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is also a very popular app right now. It can be used through browser, app, dial-in option as well. Meetings can have participants with 150 to 3000 participants. Quality video and audio is available. Many tools like screen sharing, recording are also there. HD audio toolbars are a plus point. Unfortunately, it has only paid versions available and it is a little bit complex to use. The paid version is really costly compared to other apps. Moreover, to use webinar option, you have to subscribe to GoToWebinar, which is another app. Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a complete package of virtual work from home tools, including video conferencing. Free and paid versions are available. Paid version is free for 6 months due to the pandemic. Its pros include free version has video conference with 50 participants at a time, access to web version of Microsoft Office products like Word, PowerPoint, etc. 10 GB team cloud storage of files, screen sharing, document editing, etc. Could be much more than just a virtual meeting app. It could be like a work from home tool. Unfortunately, it is a little bit complex to understand at first to utilize the features. Recording available only on paid version, not for less tech savvy. Meeting etiquette and tips. As virtual meetings lack the formality of an office conference room, it is tough for people to stay focused on the meetings. Moreover, inclusion of all teammates also becomes a problem. That's why the meeting administrator must prepare an agenda beforehand and share it along with the invite. Ask all attendees to test the app or software at least 15 minutes before the meeting. If internet connectivity allows, ask all participants to be on video so as to stop people from tuning out and to make everyone feel included. Set a moderator or facilitator to keep the meeting going. Once the meeting starts, she or he should call everyone out to make people respond and give their input. Keep the meetings precise. Utilize all tools like raising hands, polls to increase productivity. Benefits and problems. Generally, physical meetings have typical accessibility issues such as participants needing to travel to location to attend meetings, accessibility to meeting rooms through ramps or grab rails for specially abled participants, etc. But virtual meetings tackle these problems easily and make these meetings seemingly accessible. They also help in cutting down transportation costs for participants, save precious time wasted in traveling, cutting down costs of booking a hall or meeting room to accommodate a larger audience for seminars. a new set of problems have the potential to set off a whole new twist to accessibility based on money, region, privilege, etc. Following are some of them. Participants need phone signals. They need to have good internet connectivity, good data, Wi Fi to participate. They need to have access to computers, smartphones, and other gadgets. They need to be tech savvy. They will be excluded if they are from rural or hilly areas due to inaccessibility. They have to shell out money on internet connection, gadgets, etc. Conclusion. As it is with accepting any new change, there are many possibilities and hurdles in embracing virtual meetings in our country. Some key aspects to be more inclusive include asking everyone their expertise on internet and if they have access to smartphones, data connectivity, etc. before calling them for meetings. For ease, utilize apps like WhatsApp for video conferencing, Facebook Live for webinar, as they already have a penetration among the masses. Do a teleconference in case of no internet accessibility. If somebody misses a meeting due to inaccessibility, keep them in the loop through an email or SMS chain. In the end, we want to work towards a more equitable, accessible world. Let's hope virtual meetings become more inclusive rather than exclusive for people.